Hello, this is Ken Gilbert again. I want to talk to you a little bit today about how to have fun programming rather than to have frustration programming. I'm going to show you a couple slides here that'll help me illustrate what I'm talking about. So this slide here summarizes what I'm going to be talking about, but to set it up, I'm going to share with you a picture of my garage. I just took this a minute ago. It's raining today, and you can see the pavement's wet, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. That's what my garage door looks like. But one night I came home. It was pretty late. I'd worked a long time that day, and my garage door wouldn't close after I drove into the garage. And I was able to get it to close manually, but the automatic thing wouldn't do it. So I decided, oh, I can fix that. So I started working on it. And my very patient wife says, why don't you come on in and eat and take a break or do it tomorrow or something? No, I can fix it. So I worked on it for about a half an hour. And then I ran into a problem. In trying to fix one thing, I messed something else up. And then I worked some more and I messed something else up, and I was getting tired and I was getting frustrated. And I don't know about you, but when I get tired and frustrated, I get pretty stupid too. So I kept working and my wife kept asking me, why don't you stop and do it later? But I didn't listen to her. So eventually I ended up with this. And we had to call a professional to come out and fix it. He actually had to get somebody else to come with him because he needed somebody to lift the garage door. So my point relates to programming also. But to set up what I want to say, let me give you a little quiz here. Here are some very successful people. You can read them. Ingrid Bergman, the director. Charles Dickens, you've heard of him. Henry Poincaré, you may not have heard of him, but if you happen to study math, you would have heard a lot about him. And then there's James Watson and Francis Crick, who sequenced the DNA structure and everything. They all have something in common, and here's what they have in common. They all work 4-hour days. Now, I put work in quotes, or workday in quotes. And what they all say is, if you're going to be creative and if you're going to be smart, you can't work constantly and try to force it. What you do is you spend a lot of time doing other things. And the other things could be mowing your yard or playing tennis or going for a walk or watching a movie or whatever. But these people had all of that productivity by spending only 4 hours a day actually writing. And that's sort of like the programming. You can't sit down and you got so many lessons you want to get done, and you can't sit down and say, I'm going to work for 12 hours and get them all done, because the longer you work, the more tired you get and the more frustrated you get, and more likely your program's going to end up like my garage door. So actually the actual writing, they sort of consider that as to be harvesting the ideas that have come to them while they were sleeping and while they were playing and while they were doing other things. So the lesson here is, if you want to program the way these guys write, it's okay to set aside a time. In fact, it's a good idea to set aside a time. This is when I'm going to work on my program. But you should work for a half hour and take a break, and then work some more and take a break. And you don't keep working until you're so tired and frustrated and confused that you're making a lot of mistakes. You want to work for the amount of time that you can stay focused and that you feel that you're really in the flow of things, that you're in the zone, or whatever word you want to describe that. And something else these writers and these researchers and directors share is that you don't want to say, I'm going to set a target or a milestone that I'm going to get to before I stop. They say it's actually better to stop when you know what you're going to be doing next. So when you re-engage, you immediately have something to pull you back into the flow. So that's sort of the sum of it. Is you want to be able to enjoy your programming rather than feeling like it's a chore. So make it fun, make it play, not work.